Good morning if you're watching this in the morning. So I am back. I was going to post this video sooner, but then I, was just too depressed and decided not to. So I already filmed my predictions for the Fit Parade show and for the Romania show. But I stopped recording after those two because I was just too down and decided not to. So I won't be posting that video, but I am very excited about the Iron Games show. And I'm going to be making this video just about the Iron Games show. So, if you want the other video, you can let me know, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to post that. But all the people, just to go over it really quick, we've talked about a lot of the people who are on that list already in my recent videos, because a lot of the people who I think are frontrunners are just, have competed a lot recently. So it almost felt like a pile-on to continue giving my thoughts on how they can improve their looks. So that's another reason that I'm just not going to post it. But if you're curious who I think it's who everyone's going to be thinking. I think Chantal Hill has a great chance of doing really well at the show. If not taking the show, I would love to see her finally take a show. Luca Katai, I don't think she's a frontrunner, but I will be making a video at some point about people who I think we should watch. She's one of the people I think we should watch longer term. And then Alice Marquezio, I think she's a frontrunner. Inez, I think will be a frontrunner. And then we have Sarah Punzetti and Carrie Sexton. And then I also was thinking maybe those are my main people. Yeah, I guess those are my main people. Maybe I'm overlooking someone right now. I'm not going to go back into it. But I've talked about all those people on multiple recent videos. So yeah, that's who I think we should watch out for there. And then I think for the Fit Parade show, the people to watch out for are going to be Miriam Barbosa. I believe she's the one who placed 5th at the Arnold South America. And then Nevaeh Campos, I think she's someone to look out for. And Jessica Machado. Those are my main 3. So yeah, those are my thoughts there. Now let's talk about the Iron Games show. Okay, Iron Games is gonna be gigantic. Well, not really. In the past, there was an Iron Games where there were 50 bikini people or something, and Attila won. And yeah, so this is always an exciting show. And I have some people on here that I want us to look out for who you may or may not be familiar with. Anyone watching these videos is probably really into the sport, so they are familiar with new pros and stuff. But yeah, so let's get into it. I'll decide on my solid top 5 after we go through these people, because I'm refreshing my memory. I pulled these things up on Tuesday or Wednesday. Okay, so the first person I'm so excited about is Eureka. So, okay. She had a different last name, so let me pull that up. So I'm really excited about Eureka. She has placed as high as 15th at the Olympia in 2022, I believe. So, yeah. Oh, no, it was 12th. Okay, yeah. So she placed 12th at the 2022 Olympia. She has been a pro for a while, but she put on a lot of size and started doing really well after she'd been a pro for a year and a half-ish. In 2022 was the year that she kind of really got herself on the map. So yeah, love Eureka's physique. We'll go over her most recent stage photos, but these will not be, accurate to how she looks now, because she's been off stage for a year at this point. Yeah, almost a year. A few weeks shy of a year. Okay, so Eureka. The last show she did, she placed 3rd at the Japan Pro, and she's won multiple shows. She's won the Iron Games before, so she's on the flyer. It would be really cool if she won again. Okay, so here's Eureka. I would say, yeah, I'm just obsessed. So I really love the suit color on her. She has great balance from top to bottom. As far as posing, I think she always kind of leans forward a little bit and looks a little bit forced in her front pose, but she it's counteracted by how excited and happy she always looks to be on stage. Like the smile you see on her face here always stays on her on stage. She looks like she really is having a fun time up there. So, yeah. So if your front pose looks a little bit forced, but you look like you're having fun, then I think it kind of counteracts it a little bit. I would like to see her just stand a little bit straighter up. Some of that probably comes from just needing more back mobility, low back mobility, or not realizing. But yeah, and I would also bring the arm in a little bit closer. That's part of what makes it look a little bit more forced, just how straight out her arm is, and it's a little bit far away. But yeah, I would probably turn this knee in towards the judges just so we can see matching detail on this back leg that we see on the front leg, because we're seeing a fair amount of detail here. And Eureka's back pose, let's look at that. And Eureka's glutes, she put on like a lot of incredible mass on her glutes. I'll show you an older picture of her because the transformation is just amazing. I love it. Okay, so her back pose, hair, perfect length, not covering anything. I mean, she could get that piece off her shoulder, but, you know, it's not anything. I would like her suit bottom, like we talked about many times before. You can see that connection from the glute muscle to the lower back. So I would want a little bit more fabric here to just cover that up, or pull it down in the back and up in the front. That way you get this fabric to start covering this little area, and it makes the glutes look nice and round. So we talk about that a lot, and that's what I would want to change with her back pose. But just for fun, let's look at how crazy her transformation is from when she got her pro card in 2020. What year is this? 2020. Okay. Look at her glutes here. See? Great glute insertions, awesome, but looks kind of straight up and down. And then what we just saw, let's go to the Hawaiian Classic. I'm just a huge fan. Where's her in her back pose? Yeah, look at the volume on her glutes. This gives me hope. So yeah, and then another thing, I would straighten the arms a little bit, which she was doing at this show and at the Japan one we just looked at. I would straighten the arms a bit just to look a little bit more relaxed, like you're just standing there, like we always say. So yeah, I think she is a front runner for winning this show. So, okay, yeah. I think, okay, I'm kind of formulating my top 5 as I look at these. Okay, another person. Actually, no. Okay, I think Eureka is going to be in the top 5, but I have a lot of people up, so I won't say anyone else for the top 5 just yet. Okay, we have Lacey Rutland. I really love Lacey's physique, and she's placed second multiple times in the past couple years. She's only been a pro since 2023, I think. Yeah, 2023. And in her first season, she got a second place. So she missed her qualification by 1 spot. And then the same thing happened this year when she was at the Sasquatch, which is always a major show. So she's pretty much always in the top 5. There've been a couple times where she isn't, like when she got 12th at the Indy Pro this year. But yeah, that was her first show out too, so a lot of times we just aren't quite in condition yet. And then we get better as the season goes on. So let's look at this front pose. The thing that I think Lacey is missing, which makes me think that she would not be one of my favorites to win this show, is just volume in the upper body. Her lower body looks great. It looks bubbly, very developed, but she looks a little bit shallow in this lat, shoulder, arm, chest area. And I think it's just going to come down to more development, more muscle tissue added on in this upper body. I'm sure she could stand to put some more on her lower body too. Most people can. We'll look at her back pose in a second. This is just a month and a half-ish ago at the Legion. But yeah, I think that's what's holding her back. And she's tall too. So she has like long limbs, so it's harder. It takes longer to make long limbs look filled out compared to someone like who we always use as an example, Ashlyn. She's short, and Maureen, another good example. Short, and you can fill out those muscle bellies faster because you have less space to fill in, and things will project out more with the same amount of size as, say, a tall person. So yeah, I think that what she's missing is just that. Could she maybe just pump up more backstage? Maybe, but she has a great coach. Her coach is Jamie DeBernard, and I think that if that were possible, then it would have happened by now, because her upper body is always kind of reading as this. And I know a question that a lot of people have is, is a boob job necessary to do well in bikini? And the answer is no. I think I've touched on that before. How Sandy has said that she's never counted someone off for not having implants, but she has counted them off because the implants make their physique look imbalanced. So yeah, I just wanted to say, I don't think Lacey has a boob job or anything, and I don't think that's something that would like be the difference between her getting her qualification or not. So yeah, I know a lot of people worry about that. Anyway, so yeah, that's Lacey, but great balance to her frame. She's symmetrical from the top to the bottom, but the thing that's not symmetrical is the amount of muscle she has from the top compared to the bottom, in my opinion. And again, I'm only ever going off of photos, and all of this is just me honestly looking up to these athletes and liking to watch the sport as a fan. So I don't mean anything personal when I give this feedback, you know? So I hope that if any of you competing are watching it, which I doubt you are because the show is like this afternoon, then yeah, just so you know, I don't mean anything by that. Her back pose is looking very Jennifer Dory. Maybe it's just how round her shoulders are and the fact that her legs are wider here, and at the Olympia that Jen won most recently, she's won too, she had a really wide stance. So yeah, what would I do about this back pose? I think she could have a little bit more density to the glutes. For her, it's just gonna be like this look, but more of her. So I think she could have a little bit more density on the glutes so she can feel out this upper outer part, again, like most people. But if she were standing with her feet a little bit closer together, it might not look like they are sloping off too much comparatively. But with her legs being this far out, it might be making the quad look like it's overpowering the glute a little bit. I don't think it's actually overpowering at all. Like, I think her lower body is in great proportion to each other, but when we're looking for that upper outer edge, having your leg this far out kind of just makes everything look like a diagonal line, if that makes sense. So I would step in a little bit closer, like just so her heels are under her shoulders. So I would want her heel to be right here instead. But love the conditioning here. You can tell why she did so well. She got third at the show. Great fullness to the hamstrings. You aren't seeing any hamstring cords or splits. It's just like beautiful bikini conditioning, and the complexion looks great. The tan, meaning the tan, it's not looking splotchy or anything. The color looks good. It's not reading as green at all, at least in these photos, and I doubt it did in person. So yeah, love Lacey's look, and just really waiting for the day that she wins a show. It just seems like, and more power to her, she does pretty big shows. And not that she couldn't win one, and there's strategy when it goes to that. It's like, do I do a show that I don't think a lot of Olympians are going to do so I can get my qualification, or do I just want to get compared against them to make a name for myself? Like, I got second or third to this person who has been to the Olympia multiple times, you know? So, yeah, I would love to see her win a show soon, but I don't know if she will even compete more this year. I don't know where she lives, but I assume it's like Arizona or further west. That's totally just a guess, because I don't see her doing like a lot of shows that are not in this area of the US. So yeah, that's what I think about Lacey, just more size up top. Okay, I'm gonna leave all the pictures up. Okay, so, and did I leave Eureka up? Yes. Okay, so the other person I want us to look out for is Steph Warden. So she has placed as high as fourth. Well, did she competed this year? Why did, she might have gone by Steph. She competed this year, so Steph Warden. So I really love Steph's physique. I think what holds her back is just her stage presence. So yeah, she placed fourth this year too. She's always doing really well. I think it's just her stage presence, just needing to look more relaxed on stage, which I listened to her podcast, and she has said that's been a feedback of hers. As far as posing, there are a couple things that I would change. So here's her most recent show where she placed fourth. I would bend this knee a little bit, because it looks almost like she is pushed back here, even though she's really not. Her upper body it's standing upright. She's not leaning forward at all, like we were talking about with Eureka. But I think she could split this stance, angle the knee towards the judges a little bit more, and add like the softest bit of bend to this leg, like we've talked about with Jennifer Dory multiple times. I'll just pull that up in case this is the first time you've seen one of my videos. So here's Jennifer bending that leg a little bit, because when she doesn't bend the leg, then her knee is hyperextended and pretty much like points backwards, which happens to a lot of people, like myself included. And see how it just makes her look a little imbalanced and almost bottom heavy, because there's so much space here in between her shins and knees or whatever. So yeah, that's what I would say with Steph's stance. And I would also want her to angle towards us just a little bit more, like 15 degrees more towards us, so I can see a little more of this front suit bottom, maybe a tiny bit of that softness in the knee, and split the stance a little bit. And that would, I think, give her better balance. But as it is now, I think what I'm seeing is a little bit of a hollowness here in the lat. And this was not her feedback. I'm just going off of like this picture. Because I think what her feedback is like she has enough muscle and just to bring her conditioning in. So I'm excited to see how she looks today. I think the makeup and hair look beautiful. I would probably get it off the shoulder. But yeah, so that's my take on her front pose and just stage presentation. And let's look at her back pose at this. Oh, geez. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're going to go off of these ones. So yeah, let's look at her back pose. So with her back pose, I would say, yeah, great. Like the width is matching, really good balance. I would say that she should, what is it? She's not looking knock-knee necessarily, but it doesn't look like the most confident in this back pose because of the stance. There's something about the stance for me that's throwing me. What I would probably do, because she's looking a little bit narrow, is she might need more size in the glutes, I'm not sure. But then open up like the shoulder blades aren't totally pinched like we see when people are full on pinched, but I think she could spread her lats a little bit, and so we could see that taper from the lats to the waist. We see a little bit of a taper now, and her waist looks tiny, but it would just give a little bit more shape, and then maybe a little more bend in the knees. I'm not sure. I'm really eager to see how she looks today, and I think she could be in that conversation of top 10, it really is hard to say, because we just need to see how she looks today, and what adjustments she's made since her last show earlier this year. So yeah, she's someone I want to look out for. And then we have Jessica Wilson. Okay, so I think Jessica Wilson will be top 10, maybe top 6. I'm not sure. Here I am. I'm like, we're not going to say the places people will get, and then I'm like, I think she'll get in this number of placing. So yeah, she's competed since then. She got 4th at the Arnold South America. But it looks like I'm not seeing the pictures for that. I don't know if they ever posted them. But yeah, she has great balance from top to bottom. Same thing we talked about in our Arnold South America recap video or prejudging video or whatever. She just needs more size, this upper outer glute. But her balance is there. She looks effortless on stage. She did that cunty exit on the Olympia stage this year, which I was obsessed with, as you may know if you watch that video. If you haven't watched that video, I would suggest you go rewatch the live stream where she exits the stage and she just like opens those curtains so effortlessly and just has stage presence from the moment you can see her to the moment she is off the stage. Love her. So yeah, I would say just more size this upper outer glute because you can see it slopes off. So yeah. That's my take. Always someone to look out for. She's won the Masters Olympia before. She's placed 11th, as high as 11th at the Olympia before. Okay, and then we have Wu Bai. So she has competed since the Olympia at the Hurricane. And same things I said in the Hurricane video. I would like to see her split her stance. So she is, yeah, God. yeah, there's not like a full front pose picture here. Maybe there is at the end. Uh, well, whatever. I mean, her stance stays like this. I would like to see her split her stance and not lean forward and wear a more saturated suit color, because I think this kind of washes her out. And it has those clear stones, which you see her as kind of reflecting all around. Oh, cute. Cute tattoo. Okay, yeah. So that's what I would say with Wu Bai. I think she's someone to watch out for. Will she make top 5? I mean, maybe, yeah. She has crazy glute insertions. And just, like, beautiful shape. It's not all about your glutes. But, she has those insertions that go, like, to the middle of her leg, basically. Yeah, her back pose is killer. I would bend the knee a little bit and not point the toes so far out, or just bend the knee and keep the toes pointed out and bring the stance in a little bit. I think the stance is just a little wide in the back pose and too narrow in the front pose. So that's what I think there. And then we have Kimber. So Kimber has competed 7 times this year. She's placing as high as 3rd, which was the first show of the year, pretty much, I think. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, that was in San Diego. And what do I think about Kimber? So Kimber is really tall. So her feedback is usually just like more muscle. So she looks more comparable to the other people. What would I change about Kimber? I would bring this arm in closer. And I've been seeing her update pictures, and I can't tell if she's looking downsized, but update pictures are not indicative of how you look on stage by any means. Like, we see people in crazy lighting post pictures, and then they get on stage, and it doesn't look the same or as balanced or impressive, whatever it is. But yeah, so I would bring this arm in closer to the body and stand up straight, not sit into this hip so much. And yeah, that's what I would. I'm trying to see if I just don't like the lighting in this photo. Let's go to her back pose. So here she is in her back pose. She's way grown her glutes. They look great. I would probably narrow that stance a little bit, but she might be doing that so she doesn't look too straight up and down because she's pretty tall. I would say her conditioning was maybe a little bit off at this show, but how would I know? I wasn't there, and I don't always love the lighting in some of these. I think Patriots is a muscle contest show. Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. But the lighting is usually like a little yellowish or greenish. And then let's look at where she got 5th place to see if there was a difference. Yeah. So I wouldn't sit into that hip as much. I think she's trying to get more hourglass shape by that intense arch. But yeah, I would just say filling out the frame, like the legs are looking a little bit thin to me. But in person, I'm sure she looks different. So yeah, that I would think she's someone who will get in that top 10. I don't know that I would see her placing the top 5 in this show. And then we have Jess Feeney, who we've talked about a lot, and I've critiqued, like, you know, things we would adjust with her posing and stuff, like not arching so much, not pushing back so hard, pinching the shoulder blades, hair shorter, different suit, stuff like that. So she is qualified for the 2025 Olympia already, but I don't really see her killing it at this show because she's just a little bit hard. And then Brittany. Okay, I've talked about Brittany a lot because she always does really well. She has a crazy physique. The last show she competed at was Hurricane. She's a little bit tight-lipped about her feedback. She said what her feedback isn't, which is that these striations in the side of her glute are not a problem. Judges don't say anything about it. And they're also not really striations. I don't know what it is exactly. Other people have it, but Brittany is she's the main person that comes to mind with it. So what we said about Brittany in the past is I would just look like you're having a little bit more fun on stage consistently. And I would want her to maybe bend this leg slightly just for that little bit of softness so we don't see this major gap there. Take the hand off the belly button, drop it down to that hip connector. And I think this much showing the judges is good. I think this is a good amount of, this is a good angle to show to the judges. So yeah, I'm on board with that. And then in her back pose, she said she has not been told that her glutes are too overpowering. And in fact, she is allowed to grow her glutes more. So yeah, and I think growing her glutes more, and I think I hypothesized this or speculated this in the last one too. Uh, her hips, she doesn't have a narrow hips, I don't think, but if she gets a little bit more density to the glutes, they'll project more and show more differentiation between the legs and the glutes. So we get that like taper down instead of everything looking like a similar width, because right now they're pretty in line with each other. So that extra bit of pop from more density, I think, is maybe what she meant when she said the judges said she could stand to grow her glutes a little bit. And she mentioned her hair. She said that she had the people who did her makeup put her hair in, and then it was too late before she would have been able to fix her hair before prejudging. So she fixed it for finals. So yeah, I think she'll probably be in the top 5. Is Tara on this list? Ooh. Okay, yeah, I just really like Tara, so I don't know if I made that up. Wishful thinking. Okay, so Tara's on this list. I was really disappointed to not see her place at the Olympia. I don't think I was alone in thinking she would make that top 15. But I'm sure that's made her, even more energized to just get the qualification now so she can take time off before the Olympia. So what do I think she could adjust? I think, so Tara's thing that holds her back usually is just her waist. She has a shorter torso, so her ribs are a little bit closer to her hip bone than someone with a long, like I have a long torso, so my waist will look smaller just because I have a longer torso, so my ribs there's more distance between my ribs and my hip bone. Not that I'm the standard to compare next to Tara, but just giving an example. So yeah, she has like a more, not wide waist at all, but that it just looks different than some of the other people on stage. That's why I think she wears this V cut to like really cinch that waist in. And what do I think she needs? I think she should just keep coming in how she always comes in and see how it plays at this show. Like, I think the hair and makeup is gorgeous. The pink suit isn't my absolute fave, but it works for her and she really likes it, so that makes her more confident on stage. If I were her, what suit would I do? I think she did a suit that I really liked once. I'll look at it. But I think her back pose is excellent. Again, you can see this connection from the glute to the low back where we see this indentation. I would pull the suits down in the back and up in the front. Maybe cut the hair a little bit, but I think, actually I take that back. I would not cut her hair because her waist isn't the tiniest from the back. So she's doing a good thing kind of camouflaging that, having it be just high enough. It's sort of covering that suit bottom there, but it's nothing egregious. So I would say hair length, perfect. Yeah, and then what is the suit color that I was thinking? Oh yeah, I think I liked her in red. I mean, not that red. I wouldn't do those stones, but red is pretty, and I do like her in a mint. Maybe that was the dawn of the pink suit. Let's just look at one more. Yeah, maybe I don't know. She could wear whatever and still look incredible. I'm just, nitpicking when I'm trying to think, oh, I liked this color. Yeah. You know what? I say I don't like royal blue, but there have been a couple people I'm like, I love the royal blue. I would do this color on her. I thought that looked really good. So, Tara. And then, okay, Nicole Hermanson. I am a big Nicole fan. I really love her look, and she recently posted saying that this is the most confident she's felt in her physique. She wasn't happy with how she came in earlier this year, so she's feeling really good now. The suit color, I think she is going to wear a different suit color. I think Nicole Hermanson, NBC, IFBB, IG. I think she even posted it today, or yesterday, where we see, okay, so she's gonna wear this bluish color. I think that's much better. The suit color, this one, I think kind of blends in. It's too close to the tan, so I don't love this color. I think that the blue pops way better on her, so I'm absolutely all about that. Let's get a picture where she's in the actual front of the stage where the light's on her. Yeah, and I would move the hair off the shoulder. We want to see that shoulder width. And I think what her situation is going to be is, let's bring that arm in a little bit closer to the glute. But I think the situation with her is just going to be developing those glutes a little bit. just getting more volume here. And then we aren't able to see the shoulder clap so much because her arms are kind of far out. So I would tuck those elbows in closer, pointing more towards the judges so we can see like the roundness of the shoulder so it doesn't all just like blend in into like a rounded arm. And then maybe cut the hair a little bit. And I would love to see her with straight hair on stage. The curls are pretty. That's just my personal preference. But yeah, I think just growing the glutes a little bit. And then she's like pretty formidable, I think. She has the size everywhere else. And if she just gets those glutes to project more, I think she is someone who definitely we could be seeing on the Olympia stage. So yeah, and I know she has a new coach now. So happy for her that she's feeling really good about how she's looking. So excited about that. And then I want to talk about Michaela Jimenez. So she just went pro this year. This is going to be her pro debut. Will she place? I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw her in that top 10. I know she has changed her posing a bit, so I'm actually going to pull up her most recent, like, check-in video pictures, because she has a great physique. The only thing is I'm not obsessed with her posing. Like, this knee is bent a little bit too much, making her look a little bit nervous, and it makes your waist look thicker when you are pushing back like this, because it brings that belly button down, and then instead of just having the distance of low back to belly button, you get like glute to belly button. So it adds like a few inches onto that waistline. She still went pro. She won her class at the show. You went pro if you got first or second. She got first. So yeah, that's what I think about her front pose, but we'll look at her Instagram, which I have pulled up. And in her back pose, she has like beautiful, I love the amount of muscle she has for bikini. She could probably put on more, just more density to get more of this projection. And I would pull the suit down in the back, up in the front, so we don't see this connection. But yeah, so I think she has really great shape. She has like the structure for bikini for sure. And just with a little more density, I think she's going to be in an awesome spot. And she already is looking like improved. So here she is now. So what I would do is I would split this stance a little bit, and not push back as much because it's pushing her upper body forward, looking like leaned over. And we want to just look like you're just standing there. This is my front pose, just standing up straight with that foot kicked out a little bit more. So that's what I would do there. And then let's wait for her to turn to the back. Yeah, that's a killer pose. Oh, okay. She doesn't turn to the back. But yeah, I think maybe just a little more glute density. I'm really excited to see her on stage this year for her pro debut. So, like, major luck to her. I'm really excited. Okay, and then this is someone else who I think we should be watching out for. Ashley Mintz. She has won the Olympia Amateur. And have I not said as much in this video? Sorry, not to get proud of myself. And some of you might roast me and say, you have said it a lot, actually, but I've gotten a couple comments about it, understandably, because it's not fun to hear someone just say filler words, but I think I'm doing a better job. I'm trying really hard. I do replace it with the word, though, so, you know, it's a trade-off. Okay, so, here's Ashley Mintz. She has won the overall, like I said, and her physique is killer. I would not be surprised if we saw her in the top 5 at this show, at least top 10. She's got to be making top 10 or higher. The only thing I think is she just needs to bring in tighter conditioning. So I think if she had tighter conditioning, she will be like a threat to be qualifying for the Olympia by the 2025 Olympia. Like, I could see her on stage there, depending on how she looks against these other athletes. But when I show you her back pose, I think you'll really agree, if you don't already. But yeah, I would keep this core tight. She's losing it a little bit, and she's leaning really far back with this back shoulder, which is causing some of this wrinkling here. Some of that is just like muscle attaching to her ribs. And then level off these shoulders. So you know that she's tilted because that shoulder is up higher, and then there's wrinkling caused on the opposite side. I think if she stands up straighter, yeah. Sorry, if she stands up straighter, she'll get better symmetry, better balance from top to bottom. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and keep this core tight. Looks like maybe a tanning issue on her midsection too. And I'd want to see more pop to this glute profile. So, okay, maybe she won't get like top 5 at this show, but I think she could if she's just a little bit tighter. I think all of that would pop more. We want this muscles to look like they're like bursting out of the skin. I also don't love this suit. I would wear a different suit color. I don't love the way the stones are arranged on the suit either. So yeah, but hair looks really pretty. I would get it off your shoulders. That's just a polishing thing. Like, she needs a little bit better polish, and this looks like the tan might be a little bit light, but who knows? I mean, I don't have any other pictures from the show pulled up. And then her back pose, I think that, yeah, it's just conditioning. If she were a little bit tighter here, then her glutes would, like, really give that taper into her legs. Hair off the shoulders, and I want to see like an inch of her lower back. She has a tiny waist, but yeah, overall tighter, and I think she's a really, really tough competitor. So yeah, she's someone I want us to watch too, and yeah, okay, so who's my top 5 prediction? Okay. So I'm gonna say not Steph. Oh, did I just exit Eureka? Eureka is definitely a top 5 person. Not Woo, not Kimber, not Jess. Brittany, I think, could be top 5. Tara, I think, could be top 5. Nicole, unfortunately, I don't think. Mika, maybe not, but maybe. Like, she'll compare well to Kimber, too, because she's tall. Yeah, okay, we also have to think about who's comparable. So I have 3 people. Eureka, oh, yeah. Okay, so Eureka, Jessica, Brittany, Tara. I know I said maybe not Jessica earlier. I don't know, guys. This is tough. There's a lot of really good people. Okay. Who's going to win the show? I think Eureka's going to win the show. So I have Eureka in first. And then I think I have Tara second. Lacey, I think, is in the top 5. So Lacey, Eureka, Tara, Brittany, and maybe Woo. Maybe Woo, actually. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Ashley, Mintz, or Mika sneak up pretty high. Okay, so I guess my winner is Eureka. Second place is Lacey. Third place, Brittany. Fourth place, Jessica, because of her balance. And fifth place, I'm just going to say Ashley Mintz. Okay? Are you okay with that? Okay, so that's my take. Hopefully you guys like this video, and thank you so much I'm just like shocked and so grateful for everyone who likes it, like presses the like button. That's so sweet. So thank you guys so much, and have a great day. Good luck to everyone competing.